Hello again. Good to have you back. I've got another story for you today of an entity so horrifying the gods themselves tried to rip the universe in two to keep it from destroying all life. Folks call it Mnggal-Mnggal, an entity out of the unknown regions. If you've ever flown out that far or met people who've come back from those distant worlds, you know there's plenty of strange and terrifying creatures out there. I've probably told you about some. Creatures we know little about, but enough to know we should be afraid. Mnggal-Mnggal is a whole lot more than that, though. It's a legend, a myth, a nightmare that's visited many worlds and never left.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
Not much is known about Mnggal-Mnggal. It's been around so long, even ancient stories about it were written when the entity was ancient itself. Some say it's an extra-dimensional being, one that should have never arrived in our galaxy. Another unknown region species, the Shis, have made it a point to study Mnggal-Mnggal as much as they can, and they say it's similar to Waru, a healer entity from another dimension. But like all the others, this is just a theory. Truth is, Mnggal-Mnggal is on no official species catalogue, and there's so little about it that's certain that not even famous institutions like the University of Sambra have much info on it. But Mnggal-Mnggal has shared some stories about itself over the years, mostly through victims who somehow managed to escape hail. The entity claims to be as old as the Celestials themselves, the old gods said to have built the Corellia system and hyperspace anomalies all over the galaxy. It's old enough to have borne witness when they left our galaxy for good. And if the Celestials and Mnggal-Mnggal really did share a galaxy at one point in time, many believe the Celestials would have tried to do something to protect us. You've heard of the hyperspace anomaly that cuts the galaxy in two, haven't you? Some believe that the Celestials had a hand in that, cutting the highly populated regions of our galaxy off from the unknown regions in an effort to stop Mnggal-Mnggal from infecting every world and destroying all life. Because that's what Mnggal-Mnggal is all about. It's an entity made up entirely of a thick grey ooze, slimy and smelling like the sweet scent of decay. And it's quicker than you might expect. It can shapeshift, manipulating its thick ooze into shapes like eye stalks, pseudopods, hands, anything you can imagine. It can form a mouth with razor-sharp teeth to bite your head off, or misshapen wings to take to the skies with. And sure, it can't exactly shapeshift into complex beings, but it doesn't have to. Believe me, it's plenty dangerous enough as it is. And above all else, what Mnggal-Mnggal is an infestation. A plague that's spreading throughout the galaxy, and there's little anyone can do about it. What I haven't told you yet is that Mnggal-Mnggal isn't like another species like the Waru. There is only one, the Mnggal-Mnggal. But you'd be forgiven for thinking otherwise if you'd seen its physical shape, as aforementioned, because Mnggal-Mnggal is a body of grey ooze and it never stops spreading. Mnggal-Mnggal moves by infecting other creatures. Sometimes it will make shapes out of its ooze to creep up on someone. Other times it will lie still in innocent-looking pools, only to explode upwards the moment a creature comes near. And it needs very little to infect something. Just a few drops of Mnggal-Mnglal's ooze are enough to do you in. The ooze will creep up into your mouth or nose, inside your body through the pores of your skin. Really, any passageway into your body is good enough. And once it's inside you, it travels up into your skull, digesting your brain first, then your internal organs and tissues, eating you from the inside out until you're a hollow shell full of Mnggal-Mnggal. What's worse is Mnggal-Mnggal can and will eat anything. Trees, animals, insects. As long as it's not Mnggal-Mnggal or lifeless rock, Mnggal-Mnggal will consume it. However, it prefers to eat sentience, and it's not because we taste the best, it's because we're the best way it can spread and infect even more sentience. Within 24 hours of Mnggal-Mnggal entering you, you're dead. No cure, no chance of survival, and if you try to get help, chances are you'll only condemn those people to the same fate as you. But your role in Nal-Nal's plan doesn't end with your insides turned to grey ooze. If I'm honest with you, that's only when Nal-Nal's fun begins. After its victims are dead, Nal-Nal can control them at will, piloting them like an ooze-filled meat suit. It's accurate enough to make its puppets pilot vehicles, even talk, though the victim's voice sounds like little more than an undead buzz as Nal-Nal digests their vocal cords and tongue. Really, you can easily spot a Nal-Nal victim if you looked closely enough. Their stares are empty and lifeless. They walk around stiff-jointed and awkward and stay eerily still when Nal-Nal isn't using their meat suit. Even more telling, within a week, they start decomposing, with grey slime oozing out of their orifices. That said, if you're close enough to identify a Nal-Nal victim, it's probably already too late for you, let's be honest. The reason Nal-Nal takes control of its victims is because through puppeting them towards other sentients, it can infect new victims and spread itself even further. And this is where the truly mind-boggling truth comes into play. You might look at a Nal-Nal victim out on a space station, then at a pool of Nal-Nal down on a planet's surface, and think they're two different beings. But remember what I said, Nal-Nal is not a species, it's an entity. All those pieces you see, all those victims in separate pools of slime, they are all Nal-Nal, all part of one being so vast, it boggles the imagination. By this point, I can't even tell you how far it's spread. Out in the unknown regions, there's a planet called Mnggal-Mnggal. Once it was probably a beautiful planet. Now though? Now it's an empty husk of a world. It's all Nal-Nal. There's no life left. Nal-Nal flows in rivers across its surface, it forms its oceans, and fills underground caves with so much of itself that you can't quite comprehend its size. All that's left of Mnggal-Mnggal are lifeless continents and the occasional husk of a fossilized tree. And you can tell Nal-Nal it's proud of its work. It hasn't just abandoned Mnggal-Mnggal in search of a new planet to infest. No, instead it has victims pilot ships into orbit around the planet, then leaves them there, a ring of derelict ghost ships as proof of all the lives it's taken over the millennia. Force knows what you'd find if you dared explore that ghost fleet, but travelers braver than I have seen grease sail ships and a treasure barge belonging to Jim the Despot amidst the wreckage. But Nal-Nal isn't satisfied with its grotesque work of art. It spreads the plague of the unknown regions to countless moons, space stations, other worlds. On some, it's nothing more than an isolated pool of malevolent ooze lying in wait for its next hapless victim, but on others it has spread far and wide until it overtook everything just as it has on Mnggal-Mnggal. Thankfully, there are people out there who've noticed what Nal-Nal's been up to, and they've been doing what they can to stop it, recognizing that the entity has the potential to destroy all life as we know it. Some species, like the Lagubra and the Croak, are focusing on defense, screening ships and doing all they can to prevent Nal-Nal from infecting their territories. Others are taking a more aggressive stance. The Shiss in particular have gathered the greatest volume of information on Nal-Nal in the Great Data Library of Scylla. They've been thorough too. Everything from Mngall-Mnggal's history and location to origin stories can be found in those databanks. They don't stop at that either. They actively place bounties on Nal-Nal infestations, hiring bounty hunters and other adventurers to destroy them before they spread further. And they don't really have a choice. Time and again throughout history, Nal-Nal has changed the course of events, from decimating the Vis Empire to other minor events in the unknown regions few know about and even fewer care about. But oh, should they care? Because Nal-Nal isn't just a mindless entity spreading across the galaxy. No, it's a being of pure evil, and it enjoys every second of its hellish activities. Normally I don't like throwing heavy words like evil and depraved around, but that's just because I save those words for beings like Nal-Nal. I'm sure you know plenty of creatures across the galaxy that can't help what they feed on, like the Anzati, who are driven mad by their hunger for soup. Narl isn't like them. Above all else, Narl wants control. It wants to take over as much as possible, and it enjoys it. Like I said, it cherishes Mugfallow like a treasured jewel, and if it could, it would transform every planet in our galaxy into another ooze-infested hellscape. But what really sends a chill down my spine is that the entity enjoys it. You can just tell. Killing and torturing sentience isn't just a means to an end, but a game to Narl. Some believe it enjoys the process of torturing a sentient being more than it likes feasting on their insides. And from what some ghost-faced smugglers have said, I'm inclined to believe them. Some stories tell of Narl infesting a child, then using the child's reanimated, rotting corpse to emotionally torture its mother over and over. Others tell of the entity taking over sentience, then controlling their bodies to persuade their still living loved ones to make terrible decisions, like opening an airlock or luring a security perimeter fence. That's just how fickle and sadistic Narl is. Even in its original form, it likes to talk to people. It will speak in riddles and metaphors to confuse its victims and spin tall tales of ancient beings and long-lost treasures. It's so old, it could very well know of all these long-forgotten secrets, but with Narl, it's impossible to tell if it's sending to you a secret treasure trove or to some innocent grey puddle just waiting for a ride. Narl is a trickster you better hope you never run into on a cold, forgotten moon out in the unknown regions. But don't start feeling safe just yet. There are reports that infestations of it have been spotted in wild space and the Outer Rim territories we've only recently just talked about. It's spreading, and one day, it'll be here too. Remember what I said about recognizing its zombie victims. Watch your step, my friend. And please, stay safe out there. I think that's enough storytelling for one day. Maybe next time, I'll have a nicer story to tell. Thanks.